it looked like a
4:30
little
right now.
oath, and I said, well, maybe they're going to do that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty basic.
Yeah. I mean, it was like 3 sentences.
I mean, I wish I had the authority. I don't know if I have the authority to do it. Or Joel has the authority.
No, it's a
That's
town.
the problem.
Has to be the town.
Come on, town.
All right.
Oh, we're
we
on.
are on.
Wait,
We're
we're
on.
we didn't even start the meeting yet. How are we on?
Well, we always go on first, so that they could see that we're here. It is hot.
It is. It's chilly out.
I didn't even
17
I wore my
degrees.
vest up 'cause it's like
Christy, it's
battery.
cold out.
Battery.
My car said
Mm.
14.
Yours is 14?
My car said
Mine's at
14.
17.
So what's going on?
Temperature.
Temperature.
Okay. Thought I did something wrong. I don't know. What?
You're
I'm like, what did I do? That's
Nothing,
funny.
honey.
Nothing. Exactly. Let's see.
So I haven't heard yet, Sam, if she's watching. My mom. Well, she was originally supposed to. We have cheerleading, dance, basketball, and this at the same time. So she was originally supposed to be.
I know what that's like.
And when she said good morning, she wanted to say hi.
Yeah, good morning. It is
Okay.
everything.
It's true. Sudden alarm.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. My day ends at 4:30. So it's like, okay, I can't schedule anything
Right.
Monday.
I got 2 basketball practices.
Riley's ski practice.
Run.
He's not going to see if I can make it.
We gotta do 24 hours.
Yeah, it's good. That's right. I was looking for the agenda, and you.
Is it right there?
It's right there.
Okay. Just make
Alrighty. So I have audio check on its way. I'm going to go ahead and call our meeting to order, and we will do our Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay.
Okay, we do have a public comment section. I do not see anybody here in our audience. So we are going to move straight to, we're just getting started, Teresa. We know it's a different time, so welcome. We're going to move straight to our new business. So the primary purpose of this special meeting, we have 2 purposes, but the primary is to welcome Dennis. So congratulations, Dennis. Thank you for joining us. And on to that note, we are going to be doing a new board member orientation. And that is you. Are you good?
Yeah, I'm all set. Thank you. Oh, yes, Christy. Hi.
Do we have any agenda adjustments? Because I'm not seeing any other agenda items besides.
Oh, do we not have the right agenda printed? Thank you, Christy.
Oh, do you mean the executive session?
Yeah, that's not on our
Yes.
packet.
Well, let's double check that to make sure.
I think it's on. I'm pretty sure it's online
That's
posted,
all
but I
online.
think this is just a copy that doesn't have it. So I just wanted to make sure.
No,
it
and
was on there.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Christy, for pointing it out. I think we're okay if it's posted. That the executive session's there, then it's no
Mhm.
problem whatsoever. Yeah, well, welcome everybody. Good evening. It's nice to see all of you guys. Yeah, and we're just going to spend a little bit of time this evening welcoming Dennis to the RSU4 school board or board of directors. And morning, Scott. Or morning. Yep. Didn't you just do that, Christy, to Doug?
Yeah, it's one of those things.
Hi,
Oh, yeah,
Doug.
you snuck
Nice
in.
to
Hi,
see
Doug.
you.
Hi, Scott.
All right. So we're just going to do a quick orientation in regards to being a part of the school board here in RSU4. And so I've included the slides in your packet and had intended to display those behind me on the television, but it's not working correctly, or I can't get it to work correctly. Probably it's user error more than anything else. But just if you wouldn't mind referring to the slides in your packet, it'd be much appreciated so that we can just take you guys through it. And then something I do want to do is make sure that we leave some time at the end to help answer any questions, Dennis, that you may have. But also any tips, you know, as you guys are all seasoned veterans when it comes to being a part of a school board, you know, things that, you know, you might give for support or words of wisdom for Dennis as he joins us. It's all good. That's for sure. We're all learning. That's the truth of it. So anyway, just to kick us off here, just I did include a content and resources page, and so that there is a link. That's the first full slide there after the introductory. Essentially, what it is I wanted to put at your fingertips, Dennis, essentially anything that you might need to get started as you onboard with us. And then as for everybody else, just if you need any, you know, help or support, you know, this is one place that you can go to, and it has a fair amount of information for you. So for instance, just going down through it, there is a policy in place in regards to the member orientation, which we're doing right now, and I will cover in just a moment. There's a folder that has all of our policies for the school district. Obviously, those are the policies that guide us in the governing of the school district in all areas. Those are also available online. All of these documents are available online. But again, just for ease, I thought I'd put them there. Policies, you know, cover everything. Students, instruction, you know, board members, myself. It covers the gambit as far as making sure that the school district runs smoothly. And obviously, the school board has a big hand in that. We do have a number of documents that are linked there. Student handbooks. You'll find that the Libby Tozier, Carrie Ricker handbook, those are a combined handbook, just given the age group. And then Oak Hill Middle and Oak Hill High School have their own handbooks to refer to. And those are documents that come forward each year for approval by the board. And they house a number of different pieces of information, obviously to help with more procedures than anything else that are based off of the policies that we have to run the schools appropriately. And then last but not least in that same table is the Oak Hill High School course of study. And that essentially is the course offerings that we have at Oak Hill High School. Dennis was the high school principal for 9 years prior to becoming the superintendent of schools, and so Oak Hill High School is near and dear to my heart, and so I know a lot, some information, I should say some information about the high school and how it runs, but the course of study is a great handbook to see what we're offering as far as classes are concerned for our students. And that comes forward to the board each year for approval. And then we have 4 collective bargaining agreements currently that we're working with. We have our educational support professionals, so those are our, and you'll have to help me, Sam, if I'm wrong with these, okay? Just our ed techs, bus drivers, let's see, kitchen staff, food service, thank you, Diane, appreciate that. Custodians, thank you guys. That's wonderful. And then the Administrators Association, those are our building principals. And then there's a director of technology is in that one also, along with the director of the adult ed director and athletic director for the high school. Let's see, Professionals Assistance Association, so that's our staff at central office. They have their own collective bargaining agreement. And then the RSU4 professionals is our teaching staff throughout the district. And last but not least, I put 2 current events on there. We've had a fair amount of discussion in regards to Libby Tozier and kind of, you know, long-term plans as far as the district organization is concerned. And then, Dennis, lucky you joined right at the right time for budget development. So it's a good time, that's for sure. So those are just some things I wanted everybody to have as far as content and resources are concerned. Are there any thoughts on that? Anybody want to chime in or Is there anything there? No? Okay. Just making sure. If we go to the next slide, this is just information in regards that we do have a policy in regards to directors, board of directors member orientation. So that's for anybody that's new and what we're doing. And if you move to the next slide, it talks about roles and responsibilities as a board and then individually. And this is where, Dennis, I think, I think we'll get to it a little later, but for those of you guys that are on the board currently and have been for a while, are able to kind of help in regards to, the day-to-day of being a board member. Obviously we function here as a team and work, to the best of our abilities to support our students and staff in our community, but we're also individuals out and about, we run into people. We might be on the soccer sidelines or, at a concert or whatever, and people will seek you out, because you're a board member to talk to you about things, which is totally appropriate within reason. And we'll get to those reasons in a bit. But essentially what it comes down to is just to attend regularly, including special meetings. So you've checked that box already, Dennis. Nice job. And then, try to review your materials prior to meetings. And we're all busy human beings with different responsibilities, and completely acknowledge the fact that sometimes, not every single word is read or reviewed, but do the best you can. And if you have any questions, by all means, feel free to reach out and ask. I'm happy to help any way I can. And then ultimately, you'll need to join a subcommittee. We have 3 of them currently. We have finance and facilities. So that's all things having to do with buildings and money, the development of the budget in particular. And then also, policy and personnel. So again, we talk a lot about policies there. You'll see one tomorrow that we'll be talking about for our first, not tomorrow, Wednesday. Thank you. I don't want to throw people off. Wednesday.
It's only Monday.
Yeah, it's only Monday. No, but we have one coming for us for first
on the
reading.
board agenda.
Yeah.
Because it's listed on the website, what, like the
Not policy, right?
It says all, like, not on the agenda, but
On the top of the agenda?
No, on the spreadsheet, it says that CAI and policy.
Oh, really?
Yep.
We met last time.
Yep.
I know. That's why I was anyway, sorry for interrupting.
No, you did. No, I appreciate the clarification, Christy. It helps. So if I need to change something, you let me know, okay? Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you. And sorry, personnel, Dennis, that's also a hiring committee. So we like to have a school board member on our hiring committees for most of our positions in the school district. I would say that Diane, Scott, Christy, you guys have done a fair amount of those throughout your time here. Is that correct? Right? Yeah. Yeah, which is good. You get to see what's potentially coming in the door as far as applicants are concerned, and have a hand in that, which is helpful. And then last but not least, we have a curriculum assessment instruction. So it's anything having to do with those 3 areas, and technology. So those are our 3 major subcommittees. Were you going to say something,
Yeah,
Nicole?
those are our established. We may have pop-up ones throughout the year. So Nancy was on curriculum assessment, instruction, and technology. Okay. So that's the one that normally when we have a new board member, just take the spot. Unless
Under what?
curriculum assessment, instruction, and technology. I mean, if we wanted to talk through the assignments, we more than easily can. Unless you're happy with that, we can just go with that.
I guess wherever I would fit best for the board. Whatever you'd like.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Dennis. The other thing that I will mention, and I probably should have, just as we're talking, don't forget we're on. So we just one of the things that we do, Dennis, unfortunately, is have to talk into microphones so that people at home can hear. It's okay. You don't need to apologize. You're new to this, right? We forget to do it every once in a while, too, so it's not an issue. But essentially, something you would ask. Oh, where, it starts out like, we kind of plug you in. At the same time, Dennis, you may come to us with background of information that would be extremely helpful. So by all means, if you feel like there's one on there that we need to plug you into, or you feel like you could contribute to better, by all means, we're happy to have that discussion. Excellent. All right, and just I think this is more of a reminder than anything else. It's just there's no authority as individuals, only as a board. However, people will seek you out. They know who you are, and they'll want to talk to you about different things that are coming, which is helpful. If we skip to the next slide, there's just a really basic operations slide as far as the school board is concerned, and you can see the list there. A couple of highlight just is that it enacts policy, employs myself, evaluates myself. So, which, at some point will be coming up. And then we just do different things as far as like, making sure that we're financing and maintaining, the physical plan of the school district, looking at the minimum standards needed. Thanks, Sam. Appreciate it. We do different things as far as establishing and maintaining records, accounts, archives, the conduct of the school, and we develop a lot of different things. Budgets in particular is the big one, as I said, along with major expenditures. So there's a fair amount that we do. And then if you take a look at the next slide, as I said, that there are different pieces here as far as like the course of studies, provide staff instructional aids, supplies, and equipment. Evaluates the educational program, and that's a big one through the curriculum assessment and instruction subcommittee, just making sure that things are what they should be as they go into our schools, and just making sure that people are well informed. You can approve or disapprove personnel nominations from myself when it comes to hiring staff members. And last but not least there is the approval for the school calendar. So that's something that we do too. Okay. The next slide, guys, is just a really quick one in regards to executive sessions. And these are all the different reasons that we may go into an executive session, Dennis. And we're going to do that this evening, so you'll get a flavor for that. But these are all the different reasons we may go into an executive session. I would say, as far as a school board is concerned, you're looking at things like personnel matters, suspension or expulsion hearings with a student, labor negotiations, consultations with legal counsel if we need to. I would say those are the major ones that I feel like that we've come across. Are there any others, guys, that you can see that on that list there that you've ever had to work through? Not that you can think. Robbie, you're no. Okay.
Labor negotiations is probably the one that we go in for the most.
Yeah. So labor negotiations in particular. Yep, exactly. And just and you'll hear this evening. Just like ground rules along that stuff is like we talk about that. One specific topic that we're going into, you are allowed to take notes during that time, but everything that we have as far as materials are concerned, we collect at the end because it's confidential. It's not something that we talk about outside of executive session. And then let's see, just confidential. Next slide is confidential and privileged information. Just we operate just kind of like, just give you a reference. Dennis is kind of like HIPAA, only for educational programming. It's FERPA, so Family Education Rights and Privacy Act. And so there's only specific information that we're allowed to share in regards to our students and staff members. We try to keep that stuff as confidential as possible at all times. To protect our students, like I said, and our staff members. So that goes along with the personnel information. And then just a bit of like boardsmanship when it comes to communication. This board is fantastic when it communicates with me. And I just think about like me, when I disseminate or give out information to the board, there isn't discussion. And I say that in the electronic format. So if I'm emailing out information to people, I say, here's the information, this is what you need to know. There isn't then a discussion amongst the board via email because that can't happen. Otherwise, we're conducting business outside of a meeting. It's one thing to email me directly and ask me a question, and then I can follow up with that individual person. But as far as like discussions amongst the board via email. We don't want to be seen like we're conducting business outside of a public session. And everybody's been wonderful with that. You know, if there are specific questions that people might have, they'll email me directly or pick up the phone and call. And I encourage any of you guys, as you see stuff come through, like if you have a question about it, let me know. Diane has been excellent in like reminders for myself, which I very much appreciate, and don't ever feel like you're giving me a hard time or bothering me. It's important if I don't remember to do something, somebody reminds me, because then I can say, oh yeah, I did that, or no, thanks for the reminder, which has been helpful at times. So thank you for that. And then last but not least here, or getting close to last but not least, board member responses and how to respond to general complaints and any complaints involving like personnel or students. And this is the section that maybe, and I don't know you guys, what you've had to talk to people about, but I think it sometimes be tricky, right? You're members of the community, you may have an association with the school district in some way, shape, or form, and somebody starts asking you questions specifically about a staff member or a specific student, and guidance around that is to be extremely careful, right? And I say that in the sense, it's one thing to listen to what somebody has to say, it's another to engage in the conversation and potentially push it forward in a way that's not going to be helpful for anyone. You know, it's one of those deals, and I'll give a for instance, if somebody's complaining about a staff member, you know, it's okay to listen, but it's all then okay to say, you know, like I think you probably should reach out to the superintendent or that building principal or, you know, whoever it might be that oversees that person. So that way you're not going down a road that's going to get slippery for you. And then I was going to ask the board, like, if there were any like helpful hints for Dennis in regards to that. Like, again, many of you guys may have talked to people, and just I'd open it up just to if there was anything in regards to a specific request that somebody made or a comment they might have made.
And just remember to use your mic when you do.
I can offer a little bit of advice. I think, like, this happens to me frequently because I have kids in the district and stuff, and they're involved in sports and stuff. So we're out all the time. But I kind of, one thing I like to do is, like, obviously listen to the concern because it's really important to engage and get that feedback. But to sort of flip it back over to your individual responsibilities, or not as just a singular board member, and just to say, I understand your concern. I really appreciate you letting me know. However, I don't personally have the ability to make a change. It's a board. It would have to be a board decision. So, and we actually do have a hierarchy of. If you look in the policies, there's a hierarchy of where you're supposed to start with a complaint. You might, I don't know the exact policy off the top of my head.
I could look it up right now, Scott.
But yeah, there is a hierarchy where you would first start with the teacher, and that if it's a student issue, first start with the teacher, then it goes to the principal, then the superintendent. There's a chain of command where you would escalate. But I always recommend, you know, reaching out to the building principal or even Marco if it's really something that needs immediate attention, and let people know that contact information can be found right on the RSU4 website. It's really the best place to go for contact information, reviewing policies, handbooks. It's all there. It's really easy to access for everybody. But there's just a nice reminder. Like, I hear you. Unfortunately, I can't make the decision alone. It's a board decision.
How about other thoughts? I'm just thinking. Oh, sorry, Robbie, go for it.
Yeah, it's sometimes you have to walk a knife's edge, because if you're going to be involved in like an expulsion hearing or something like that, and you have a community member call you up at night in the evening, and they start, you know, everybody needs to be heard. But the thing is you can hear too much information that it can prejudice you against. You know what I mean? So a lot of times it's hard to shut those things down. But like Scott said, you know, you can listen to a certain point, but then I think you have to decide that, okay, now it's getting into the point where I'm not going to be able to make an unbiased decision if I only hear one side. And sometimes you can't hear the other side until you get to the hearing. So you can actually have too much information. And I know everybody gets passionate about, their topic or whatever, and sometimes it's hard to say, I understand where you're coming from. Have you gone through the chain of command? Have you escalated it up the ladder? And if you get no response, from that one, go to the next one. If you get no response from that one, and it'll eventually come to us. But we have to sit as a legally binding body, almost like a jury that hears both sides, and then make a decision. And sometimes you can, if you only hear one side or you hear too much information from one side, you can prejudice yourself against a decision. So it's just wise to, keep that in mind. Like like Scott said, you're an individual until you come to the board meeting, and then you're a board member. So that's the tough road that you have to walk.
Go ahead, Christy.
I think as we go into budget season, we tend to hear a lot, either directly or indirectly in the community. And I think my kind of response typically is, we would love to have you at a board meeting. Our next board meeting to talk about budgets is whatever, and then encourage people to understand what their power is in the public budget hearing, that they can come and they can voice their opinion and they can change numbers on the floor. But really, to make this process work, we need people to be involved. And now that you're on this side of it, you'll see these budget meetings, we don't tend to have a lot of people in the audience until not even at the very end. So to use kind of your own social network to encourage people to come and to talk and to be part of the process, because we're making a pretty large financial decision for the 3 towns, and the more voices, the better, to be able to get to the yes vote.
Anybody else? Go ahead, Diane.
As a board member too, you'll see a lot of social media posts that people put, and you need to stay really objective, and try to encourage people to contact the superintendent or the principal if there's a matter. And I know recently there were student names put in there, so just encouraging people, please don't put names in there, it can affect them as well. So please reach out to your superintendent or to the principal or the teacher.
Can I piggyback off that real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I really like exercising my right to free speech on social media. If you, piece of advice, if you're going to do that related to a school topic, I always try to preface what I'm saying with, in my personal opinion, or so that you can make the public aware that this is not a board opinion, this is an opinion of my own. And that kind of puts that separation in there, so the board isn't held responsible for things that you've personally said.
Yeah, I think it's well said both ways, right? Like, it's important to know what you're putting out there, right? And from what vantage point that is. I mean, just as an example, like, if you don't mind, Nicole, I was just thinking, like, sometimes there are concerns that come forward, and it's great. Nicole will tell people, just call Marco. Like, just give him a call. I'm pretty approachable. Like, it's okay. It's not a problem. I'm not going to get upset. Like I said, we need to know, if there's something going on that people aren't happy about or have questions about, or even if they're really excited about something, that would be really nice too, to get a phone call every once in a while like that.
And there are going to be things that you hear in public that Marco might not have even heard, let alone we haven't heard. So somebody's going to come up to you at a sporting event or the hardware store and start, giving you all this information, and you go, I haven't heard about that, and I've, called the superintendent before and say, did you know that this was going on in the public? And they go, no, they had no clue either. So so if you hear something, it's give Marco a call, make sure, and he might just say, yeah, I already know about it, I've heard about it. So
it's great, because I mean, on different occasions, people email me and just say, just want to let you know this is what's going on, or this is what I heard, and it's very helpful, because then I can take a look into it and get back to you with any information we may have.
Yeah, I will say, so as the board chair, I get a lot more information. Again, as the governing body, if grievances or things have to come to executive session, we tried not to spread that around if we don't have to. So I do learn a lot more than the rest of you guys. However, Marco does do a really good job of keeping you informed on what you need to know when you need to know it. But I will say, even in last year as the board chair, 98% of the time, when I say, hey, did you know about this? The answer was yes. So there isn't usually a lot going on that they don't know about.
I hope that's the case. Appreciate that, Nicole. Dennis, any questions about that as of right now? And you don't have to have any, I'm just curious.
Maybe I'll comment.
Sure.
Not a question, but maybe a comment. I'm already on.
Yeah.
So Nicole had given me a tip. She said, go familiarize yourself with the policies and try to learn what you can there. And I did some digging around, and I was able to pick up 3 really good examples of there must be state associations of school boards, and they have real nice explanation of what it is you're covering at this moment about the responsibility of a board member and how they're supposed to act and behave in different situations. And you've all reiterated that. You've supported what I've read already. Kind of take it in, listen, but you act as even though you're an individual, you're a part of a board, and you decide things collectively as a board.
I appreciate that. And I think it's just, it's human nature. It's human nature, right? Like, you want to be able to have a conversation with people and hear what they have to say and hear them out and support them. And, it just comes to a point where it's then like, all right, I can't offer you my, opinion, or I can't tell you any information. You need to reach out to those who can, help me specifically with that concern. It's well said, Dennis. I appreciate it. And I appreciate all of you guys for your comments, and suggestions. There's really just 2 more slides left, and then we can jump into our executive session. Basically, the board member requests for information. Like, if you need anything, by all means, feel free to reach out. Oftentimes people will ask for, it could be anything. Could be a policy, could be resources, could be just a specific question. Feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help any way that I can, and give you pretty much anything that I can. There's not I say that, we have to worry about FERPA and that end of things as far as students and personnel are concerned, but everything else, is open. I have no problem with providing that information to you, Dennis. And then, if there are any questions, happy to sit down and walk you through it or answer anything that I can, okay? And then, obviously there's general information out there, but those, I guess what I was speaking to is more of the specific requests. But there's tons of resources on the internet. And if you can't find something, let me know. And then we do have policy around visiting schools, but at the same time, we're happy to have you in, show you around. I don't know, Dennis, how familiar you are with the schools, and you're, if you've had a chance to visit any of them or all of them, but happy to take you around so that you get an idea as to what it looks like on the day-to-day, and that goes for anybody else. If you feel like you haven't been into all the buildings and you would like to, we could set up a field trip or something, we could do that. We'll get parent permission and we'll go from there with you guys. So, but seriously, if there is something that you like to see, I'm happy to personally show you around. Okay. That's great. Okay. And then last but not least, a couple of current events, which we'll dive into the nitty gritty with that on Wednesday, not tomorrow, Wednesday, just around Livy Tozier and kind of our long-term plan, as far as the district is concerned, organization of the district, and budget development. And we've got a piece of that, we have a fair amount of that we'll talk about on Wednesday. We're just getting started with the development of that budget, the drivers and, what you guys might need for information to make the best decisions possible. And we'll kind of take it from there. But I just want you to know that those are the 2 biggies that are coming, or at least that seem to be on the horizon right now. Is there, I'm trying to think if there's anything else in regards to budget development that I wanted to mention. Oh, if anybody has any, I know that Nicole had given you guys some homework in regards to specific requests for information, but if you need anything prior to Wednesday, just let me know. I'll do the best I can to put it together. So just, keep me posted on that. You can shoot me an email if need be or talk to me after the meeting, okay? Any other questions, gang? Words of advice?
Or comments? Yeah.
Comments, yeah.
I didn't say anything about like FOIA requests. at all.
Yeah, that's excellent. I do have policy here, and thank you for that. There is a policy that we have in regards to freedom of access. And so, Dennis, one of the things that you'll have to do is a brief training on that. Just, anything can be...
There's a particular website
Yeah.
that we tend to steer towards. But we can give you that information.
Right, just to do the training itself.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And then once you've completed that training, Dennis, I think there's...
There's an attestation.
Yeah, I was going to say I did it. I know I did.
Yep. You just sign an attestation.
Yeah,
stating that
there's
you took it.
policy around that. You're right,
Mhm.
Scott.
And
Appreciate
state
you
law,
bringing
too,
up.
believe.
Oh, no
Yeah.
way, really?
State law.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I think it's with every election.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
With every
Every
swearing in.
elected-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elected
Nice.
or
Mhm.
re-elected.
Mm-hmm.
You have to at least, I know you have to at least like sign the form. Acknowledging that you understand and read it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if we have that resource, I'm happy to send it to you, Dennis, that you can do it. Yeah.
I
I'm
don't
sure
know
I
how
have it.
Sabatis handles that, but in Wales, Sharon handles all that for us.
Does she really?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me,
Oh,
which is great. Appreciate that. Well, I could reach out to Sharon too. Like if we, as you said, is it a?
It's an FAQ website.
Oh,
I'm
right.
sure
I think we have
Right.
to give one to the town
Yes.
that we've had the training.
Yes.
I see.
And the
That's-
affidavit has to go to the town
Okay.
And the super.
in the super. Yeah.
Superintendent signs it.
Yeah.
and you send the
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you guys are extremely helpful. Thank you. Yeah, 100. Actually, I thought I saw it on 120 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have plenty of
After yours.
time to do it. 120 days.
Yeah.
From
They may not know what they're doing with Sabatis one because it's all new members. So you
Mhm.
might wanna
Right. Right. We can ask. There's no problem. Happy to help them out if they need it. Sure. Yeah. All right. Is there anything else there, gang? Oh, you know what? We didn't do from the get-go was introductions. Is
Yeah.
that what you were going to say, Nicole?
Yeah, we were gonna do a little bit of a meet and greet, but yeah, we can go ahead and do that now.
Let's do introductions.
Say a final comment, or we don't have board comments this evening on the agenda because it's just a special meeting. So if you have any comments about your time as a board member that you would like to talk with Dennis about, of course, like Scott was saying, all of our contact information is online as well, so you could always reach out to any one of us. So we'll start with Teresa.
I'm Teresa Medor. I'm from Litchfield, and I'm the newest member next to you. So I'm still learning some things. So I'm probably not the best person to ask, but
Hi, I'm Christy Willette. I'm also from Litchfield. This is my second term on the board. I have 2 school-aged children in middle school, both of them, which is wild to me. And professionally work for the University of Maine 4-H Youth Development Program.
Doug Bumpus from Litchfield. I have 4 kids, 1 at each school, so that's kind of helpful. And did I say Litchfield already? I did. Okay, and I part of Litchfield, and I've been on a board member for 2.5 years, give or take, about that.
Robert Gayton from Sabatis. I've put 6 kids through this school system, and I've been here since 1999 as a board member. So I've just about run the gambit of everything.
Sorry, Marco Aliberti, superintendent.
You kind of already gave a little background anyway earlier. So Nicole Russell for Sabatis, and your board chair this year. And Marco, I know we do have a couple of veterans here. if you call second term veterans, right? Chrissy's like, no way. But a lot of us are fairly new. I mean, this is only my first term and my third year, starting my third year. So, no, starting my second. I was elected in 23, so second year. Yeah. My second year just starting as chair. Yeah. So, I don't know what I'm doing either. I try my best to just, show up and make sure that things run smoothly. We keep things on track, and we make some good decisions for our district.
Hi, I'm Diane Whalen, and I had your son Andy.
Yes.
I taught in this district for 37 years, and then when I retired 5 years ago, I came on the board. So welcome. Town of Sabattis, yes.
Matt Early from Wales. I currently have 2 children in the school system. Welcome to the board.
Shall I comment about me?
Sure.
Yeah.
So my name is Dennis Maye. I'm from Sabattis, and I was encouraged by a good friend to seek this position. It wasn't something that I had some agenda or something. I just was talking to him about, trying to find something to do as I force myself into retirement. I still am employed. I run a small business in Sabattis. I have 2 grandchildren in the school district, one in the middle school and one in the elementary grade. And yes, I had 2 adult children that went through the school system too. So I'm just want to be helpful and make myself available and do what I can.
Scott Fife, representative from Wales, second representative from Wales. I have 2 kids in the district, one in the middle school, one at the high school. I've been on the board for 5, 6 years, I think. 3rd term, technically. I mean, my first one I was appointed by the select board. So yeah, I'm up in June. Probably thinking about running again. I'm undecided at this point, but yeah, that's about it.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. Do you want to make a motion to?
Well, yeah. So, we do have our future meeting on our agenda. So December 10th, obviously, 2 days, our next meeting. And then 5.1 for our agenda item. So to enter into an executive session pursuant to 1 MRSA 405 6D labor negotiations.
So moved. Second.
Discussion. Did you have a discussion?
Yeah, I'm not trying to cause any. With what we were discussing before about
Yep.
the whole swearing in,
Mhm.
with it being executive session, is that I just want to make sure we're okay legal wise.
Yeah. We'll
Should I dismiss myself?
probably to be safe.
Dennis, I mean, it's nothing personal by all means,
I get it.
but I think you're right. Like, just in case, like if something were to be called, do you know what I mean? I think it probably would be a good idea. Yeah. Right.
But thank you for coming.
Yeah.
this
Thanks,
evening.
Dennis, and welcome.
And we'll see you
Want you to come back.
Wednesday.
That's right.
Hopefully you'll be sworn in by then.
Yeah, I'll do the
Yeah,
same.
I'll do the,
We'll
I'll
all
do the
reach
same.
out.
Contact TJ at the, yep.
Can yeah. Can we all contact them? Let's all contact them
Yeah.
individually.
I'm going over tomorrow to register my snowmobile, so I'm going to see him.
All right, we have to. That was our discussion. Okay, cool. Thank you, Matt. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Yep. Enter 514.